The question many are asking right now is this: do the Steelers have what it takes to reach Super Bowl 60? Well, according to the latest information we've received, Pittsburgh has a plan, and even some secret weapons, for this season. Don't worry, I'm about to break it all down for you, with every detail. But first, I want to hear from you. As a loyal and passionate fan, would you like to see the Steelers fighting for the Super Bowl this season? If so, smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Every new subscriber is one more reason for the Steelers to chase that long-awaited title. If you can, drop this in the comments, please. Pitt, don't let me down. That's what we're hoping for, friends. Now let's get to it. The Pittsburgh Steelers are facing one of the most decisive seasons in recent history, and the path to transforming this team from perennial wild card hopefuls into legitimate Super Bowl contenders depends on one simple, undeniable truth: the offensive line must rise to the occasion. There's no more room for debate on this. After years of frustration and early playoff exits, Pittsburgh reloaded the roster with heavy hitters like Aaron Rodgers, DK Metcalf, and Jalen Ramsey. But even those headline additions won't mean anything if the big men up front can't hold strong. Arthur Smith's offensive philosophy is built around the trenches. His entire scheme revolves around winning the line of scrimmage, establishing a downhill running attack, and creating play-action opportunities to unlock the passing game. The offensive line isn't just a cog in the machine, it is the machine. If the Steelers want to play the kind of aggressive, physical football Smith envisions, it all begins with 5 men imposing their will. Unfortunately, in recent years, that's exactly where the team has come up short. Yes, the quarterback carousel and inconsistent play calling have been culprits, but let's not sugarcoat it. This offensive line has been subpar, and it has held this franchise back from making real postseason noise. Just good enough to float around the 9 to 10 win range, maybe sneak into the playoffs, but never feared, never dominant, and always out of gas when it mattered most. First-round exits have become the norm. This year, that ceiling can be shattered, but only if this offensive line delivers. The potential? It's there. Broderick Jones, a former first-round pick out of Georgia, returns to his natural left tackle position. He struggled on the right side, but early signs from training camp show promise now that he's back in familiar territory. Opposite him is Troy Fautanu, another first-rounder, this time out of Washington. His college tape was phenomenal, top 10 on many boards, but durability is the concern. That knee? Multiple teams flagged it during the draft process. If it holds up, Pittsburgh may finally have bookend tackles worthy of the black and gold legacy. At center, Zach Frazier is already drawing top 10 rankings in just his second year. That's impressive, but he's not without his flaws. Low snaps have plagued his exchanges with Rodgers, Rudolph, and Thompson during camp. That has to be cleaned up, especially with a 41-year-old quarterback whose timing and rhythm are everything. The interior is rounded out by Isaac Sumalo, a steady veteran at left guard, and Mason McCormick at right guard, a fourth-rounder with a high ceiling, but still finding his footing. McCormick was thrust into action last season due to injuries and was clearly adjusting to NFL speed and physicality. This year, he's expected to hold his own, and the Steelers are betting on a big step forward. But again, it's a bet, nothing's guaranteed. Then there's the man tasked with bringing all this talent together, offensive line coach Pat Meyer. Let's just say confidence isn't exactly high. The decision to retain Meyer drew serious heat, and some believe it may have been the worst move of the entire offseason. His track record for developing young linemen has been underwhelming at best, and now he's working with the most high-stakes group on the roster. The spotlight is blinding, and there's no more room for excuses. Depth is another concern. Injuries decimated the right side of the line last year, but the Steelers had plug-and-play backups ready. That luxury may not exist in 2025. Calvin Anderson could be a decent swing tackle once healthy. Spencer Anderson and Andrew Peat provide some interior insurance. But if Pittsburgh suffers a repeat of last season's injury woes, this group might crumble. The front office is exploring reinforcements. Dalton Reisner is on their radar, but even that might not be enough. So what happens if this offensive line does click? Then the Steelers become dangerous. Legitimately dangerous. A solid front unlocks the run game, and that's the second domino. Jaylen Warren is set to be RB1, and it's time fans start giving him his due. He's not just a replacement for Najee Harris, he's an upgrade. Efficient, elusive, and built for contact, Warren consistently ranks in the top 10 of advanced metrics. His ability to make defenders miss is often hidden in practices, where plays are whistled dead on first contact. But when the lights are on, Warren shines. Pair him with rookie Caleb Johnson, an explosive runner out of Iowa, and suddenly Pittsburgh has a backfield that can grind down defenses and break big plays. Johnson's burst and physicality make him the perfect early down complement to Warren, and if he hits the ground running, this could quietly become one of the league's most underrated duos. And don't overlook Darnell Washington. At 6 feet 7 inches and nearly 270 pounds, the second-year tight end is essentially a sixth defensive lineman when on the field. He's a mismatch nightmare for edge defenders and a key part of Smith's heavy personnel looks. With Washington sealing edges, the Steelers will be able to run downhill with authority, and that's when this offense will be at its most dangerous. But even a dominant run game means little without competent quarterback play. That brings us to Aaron Rodgers. Coming off 2 lost seasons, first to a thumb injury, then a torn Achilles, Rodgers enters 2025 with something to prove. At 41, the physical tools are still there. The arm talent? Still elite. The football IQ? Unmatched. What he needs now is time to throw, time to operate, time to lead. With a clean pocket, Rodgers can still deliver dimes downfield and protect the football at a high level. He doesn't have to be the MVP version of himself. He just needs to avoid turnovers, keep the offense on schedule, and capitalize on play-action shots downfield. That's what this system demands, and what this offense is built around. If all 3 phases, offensive line, run game, and quarterback, align, Pittsburgh isn't just a playoff team. They're a problem. A contender. A squad that can go toe-to-toe with the Chiefs, Bills, or Ravens and come out standing. But it all starts up front. What do you think, Steelers Nation? Can this offensive line take the leap this year and finally push Pittsburgh into the elite tier of the NFL? And while we've spent years pointing fingers at the quarterback or the play calling, this 2025 Steelers squad presents something different. For once, the roster appears balanced, the vision is clear, and the only real bottleneck left is whether or not this offensive line can deliver on its massive promise. But let's go deeper, because this isn't just about one unit. This is about a complete shift in identity. For so long, Steelers fans have waited for a season where every element aligns. We've had dominant defenses. We've had Hall of Fame quarterbacks. We've had explosive playmakers. But rarely have we had all 3 operating at full strength under a singular, cohesive philosophy. That's what Arthur Smith is trying to build. A bruising, smash-mouth offense that punches first, controls the clock, and then lets its defense close the door. That style starts and ends with the O-line, and if they hold up, the rest of the dominoes fall perfectly. Because the run game behind a functioning line could be electric. Jaylen Warren is just entering his prime, and there's a real case to be made that he's one of the top 5 most elusive backs in the league. Pair him with a healthy Caleb Johnson, who has home run hitting speed in a tough north-south style, and you get a 1-2 punch capable of grinding defenses into submission. Johnson's rookie year may not come with national hype, but for those paying attention, his physical tools and college production suggest a breakout could be brewing. And don't forget how Darnell Washington fits into this whole equation. With him lined up in 13 personnel looks, Pittsburgh essentially adds an extra lineman to the field without sacrificing the threat of a pass. That gives them a physical edge most defenses simply aren't built to handle in today's speed-first NFL. And it's going to wear teams down by December. As for the passing game, yes, everything rides on Aaron Rodgers. But this is the best situation he's walked into in years. Gone are the dysfunction and drama of New York. Gone are the whispers of declining ability. Rodgers now has a sturdy organizational structure behind him, a creative offensive mind calling plays, and a chance to remind the league who he is. The weapons are there. DK Metcalf brings the alpha receiver presence that this offense has sorely lacked. He's the kind of player who demands bracket coverage, opening things up underneath for other targets. Add in route technicians, reliable tight ends, and a growing chemistry with Rodgers, and the formula becomes simple. If you can protect him, he'll dissect you. But this isn't about relying on 35-plus pass attempts a game. That era of Steelers football is gone. This version of the team is built to win with efficiency, situational excellence, and physical dominance. That's the winning formula, especially in an AFC stacked with heavyweights. If Pittsburgh tries to win shootouts with Mahomes, Allen, or Lamar, they'll fall short. But if they control the clock, win on early downs, and keep games in the 20s, they can hang with anyone. So here's where we stand. The offensive line is the fuse. If it lights, this thing could blow wide open. A top 10 line means a top 10 run game. A top 10 run game opens up a path for Aaron Rodgers to thrive. And if Rodgers plays even close to his career standard, paired with a dominant defense, Pittsburgh isn't just good. They're terrifying. Steelers Nation, this could be the year. The ingredients are on the table. The path is clear. But as always, it starts in the trenches. So make sure you're subscribed, drop a like, and click on the video on your screen for even more exclusive coverage. All the Steelers news, rumors, and inside scoops, you'll only find it here. Stay locked in.